Okay, so we're looking at the Year 6 revision for financial maths and real numbers. Number 1, write the number 93 tenths as a decimal. Well, we write it as a fraction first, that's 93 over 10, and when we divide by 10 we get 9.3. Number 2, write 1.03 in expanded form. So we have a 1, we have no tenths and 3 hundredths, so it looks like 1 plus 3 hundredths. Write 1.21 in words. So what we're going to write here is we've got the number 1 and, well, we could do 2 tenths 1 hundredth, but it's easier to say 1 and 21 hundredths. There. Number 4, convert the following fractions to a percentage. Well, percentage means out of 100, so that one, 41 over 100, is 41%. Now 15 over 20, we could either go from the 20 to 100 by timesing the top and bottom by 5. We could simplify the fraction by dividing the top and bottom by 5 as well to get 3/4. Now some of you may know that 3/4 is the same as 75%. So common fraction, that one. 31 over 50 is quite difficult, but if you look at 50, we know that an equivalent fraction is if we double the top and bottom, so I times the top by 2, the bottom by 2, and 62 over 100 must be 62%. Number 5, so convert the following percentages into a decimal. Well, to go from percentage to decimal, you divide by 100. So you divide by 100 and you get 0.35. 19 divided by 100 is 0.19, and 1 divided by 100 is 0.01, and we can do that by moving the decimal point 2 spaces to the left. Number 6, write out the next 2 numbers in the following patterns. Well, what's happening each time? So for the first one, we're adding 8 to each of the numbers, so therefore we just add 8 and add 8 again there. For the next number, we're adding 0.5 to each of the numbers. So you add 0.5 to get 6.2 and then 0.5 to get 6.7. For the next one, alright, let's have a look. So, well, 25 to 31 is 6, so we're adding 0.06, and that is the same for the others. So you get 9.49 and 9.55. One way of doing it is to think of it as 43 and you add 6, 49 and you add 6 each way. You could add 0.06 as well and do some working out, and then you can see we've got the next number. Number 7, round 0.157 to the nearest hundredth. Well, these are our hundredths here, the 5, and because the number on the right is more than 5, it goes up to 0.16. 0.31 to nearest tenth, well, that's our tenth there, the 3. Number 1 isn't 5 or more, so it stays as 0.3. And number 9, what's the difference between $2.20 and $5.10? This one we want to take away the smallest from the biggest, 220. 0 take away 0 is 0. Now we can't do 1 take away 2, so we're going to borrow. 11 take away 2 is 9. And 4 take away 2 is 2. As it is a question in currency, we'll write our answer as $2.90. Okay. Turn back up. Number 10. What is 3.03 minus 2.76? This is where place value comes in. Now we can't borrow from the 0, so we have to borrow from the 3 first and then borrow from the 10. 13 take away 6 is 7, 9 take away 7 is 2, 2 take away 2 is 0, and we always write out our answer again, 0.27. 11.9 take away 3.217. Now with this one, you've got to be careful here, because we need to add in the zeros to make sure they have the same number of decimal places. Now we can't do 0 take away 7, so we need to borrow and borrow again. So we borrow from the 9, then we borrow from the 10. Alright, 10 take away 7 is 3, 9 take away 1 is 8, 8 take away 2 is 6, and here we can go 11 take away 3 to get 8, So our answer is 8.683. Number 12, 3.12 times 4.2. So we're better off ignoring the decimals and doing some long multiplication. 2 times 2 is 4, 1 times 2 is 2, 3 times 2 is 6. Now we're times by the tens. 2 times 4 is 8, 1 times 4 is 4, 3 times 4 is 12, and we can add them together. 4 plus 0, 2 plus 8 is 10, 6 plus 4 is 10, 11, 2 plus 1 is 3 and 1, and we write our answer. Now, looking at the question, there's two ways of going about the exact answer. So we can either recognise that, well, this number is slightly more than 3, this number is slightly more than 4, 3 times 4 is 12, so our answer is slightly more than 12. Clearly the decimal point has to go after the 13. Or we can ignore, how many decimal places do we ignore? 1, 2, 3, so from the back we add in 1, 2, 3. Either way we get the same answer. Alright, number 13 is 4.8 divided by 0.25. If we set that up as a fraction, now I know we don't like decimals in our fractions, but an equivalent fraction, if we times the top and bottom by 2, or if we double the bottom, 0.2525 makes 0.5, and if you double the top, you get 9.6. We could then double the top and bottom again, double 0.5, we get 1, double 9.6, and we get 19.2. Therefore 19.2 divided by 1 is 19.2. So we use the equivalent fractions by doubling it and doubling the top and bottom to get an easier division sum. You could also do 4.8 divided by a quarter, and how you divide by a fraction is to change it to 4 over 1 and multiply. So it's just 4.8 times 4, which should give you the same answer. Right, number 14. Find 30% of $280. Whenever you're doing a question like this, find 10% first by dividing this by 10 to get 28. Now we know that 10% is 28. We know that 30% is 3 times bigger, so we need to do 28 times 3. 8 times 3 is 24. 2 times 3 is 6, so it must be 84. And because we're working in dollars, our answer must be $84. Okay, 15. Dave buys a pack of sweets every day for 32 days, and the sweets cost 45 cents or $0.45. How much does he spend? So all we're doing is 32 times 0.45. To do that question, I'm going to ignore the decimal. So 2 times 5 is 10. 3 times 5 is 15 at the 1, timesing in the tens column. 2 times 4 is 8, 3 times 4 is 12, and adding them together, 2, 3, 4 and 1. Now common sense wise you could work it out, or we ignored 2 decimal places, so we're adding in 2 from the end and making sure we include our dollar sign, $14.40. Quite a difficult question, that one. Question 16. How many 120 milliliter cups can you fill from a 7.8 litre barrel? So we've got different units. So we need to know that 7.8 litres is the same as 7,800 millilitres. So we're technically doing 7,800 divided by 120. Now, I'm going to make this easier using equivalent fractions by dividing the top and bottom by 10 to get 780 divided by 12. I could use short division with my 12 times table, but because they're both even, I'm going to half it, and that will give me 390 over 6. If you weren't sure how to half it, you could do how many times does 2 go into 780? 2 goes into 7 3 times, 1 left over, 2 goes into 18, 9, and 2 goes into 0, 0 to get that one there. So I'm going to use my 6 times table here. So how many times does 6 go into 390? I did that to make it an easier division sum than this one. So 6 can't go into 3. 6 goes into 39 6 times. 6 times 6 is 36, so there's 3 left over, and 6 goes into 35 times. So how many cups can you fill? We can fill 65 cups to get our answer there. Obviously very difficult questions near the end.